PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Today's meeting is about community. Let me give you some background and I want to tell you why that I'm actually reaching out and making a statement today. Maybe I go back too far, but in my youth, if somebody had a project at their house, then your friends and neighbors just showed up with their tool belt on, their hammers, and they were just ready to go. And it wasn't close friends and relatives. There was a need to do something, to put up a fence, to put up a barn, to do some construction or whatever. And through the neighborhood and through the gathering of people you knew, you put out the message that you need a little bit of help, and people just showed up. And I think we have moved so far away from that. Now if you need something done, then you have to get bids. And everybody has their hand out. It's almost like if you don't have somebody that's a close friend that's dedicated to you, then it is almost impossible to get a community to come together to do a project that back 30, 40 years ago would have been done in a weekend. I'll give you an example. I don't know how you spent your time during COVID, but I can tell you COVID was a very interesting thing for everybody. I think that if you live through that, everybody has a COVID story. So my father's house, and it's a little blurry and everything, this is my father's house. During the very first of COVID, when everything was shut down, we had a major storm. And the next thing you know, there was a leak in the roof. And so got up the phone, Courtney, if you know Courtney, she gets on the phone, she calls everybody, she goes, hey, I need a roofing company, we got another storm coming in about a week, we need to get this roof taken care of because it's leaking, it's going to cause major damage in the house. Roofing companies are closed down, there's nowhere to buy any shingles, you can't rent any equipment, and so we had to make a decision. Now, a lot of you don't know my personal life and everything. My wife is one of the most accomplished contractors, general contractors. She could build or do anything. It's amazing. And so she goes, well, we'll just roof the house. So she found a place, she bought shingles, she showed up, and we put the ladders up, we put the piling up, and we stripped the roof of all the shingles. We didn't have a pneumatic gun. We did the entire roof with hammers and nails. I called everybody. I called personal friends. I mean, people that obviously I've done stuff for, and I've known for a very long time, hey, we could use a little help. Number one excuse was, not very good with heights, Casey. Just really don't like to be off the ground. Oh, I get that. I mean, if you have a fear of heights, it's a real thing. But do you have a fear of handing me the shingles up on the roof? Obviously, that was another add of a fear of heights. So after making 5 or 6 phone calls, because we really did need some help because we were under a time crunch, I got nobody to help. I had family in town that didn't help. And so Courtney and I did that ourselves. Now, just to give you a sidebar, she'd roofed before. I had no idea. And so first day I was up there roofing, obviously I wasn't spacing the shingles far enough apart, and she fired me. Unfortunately for her, I didn't walk off the job. I just took the criticism and changed the way I was putting the shingles on. But we got the job done, and it was very, very interesting that nobody came to help. Nobody. That's all right. I mean, I couldn't even hire anybody at the time because the COVID shut down, so we had no choice. So about a week ago, I needed to put a fence in the backyard. And so here's the backyard. Here's about 3/4 of the fence that's been done, welded metal fence. I didn't have the ability to do this by myself. There's just no way. It would have looked like a river. It would have never been plumb. It would have never been level. And I put the word out, and it took a while. I put the word out for about a month and said, I really need to get this taken care of. There's not a time crunch on this, but I need a little help. Lo and behold, I got a response from somebody. They went and bought the materials because they knew exactly where to go get the materials, showed up with a welder, and in one day we completed the fence project right there. And it was like I was back in the days of community again. The next day I texted over and I said, you know what? I just want to let you know that I paid you back for, the materials and everything. I didn't pay you for your labor. You just came over and I couldn't have done this by myself. And I said, it just really took me back to a time where everybody didn't have their hand out. You just felt like if you did something for somebody, it was a good deed. And maybe over time, somebody would do something back for you. And I think that we've lost the ability to be a community. We're a commercialized world and everybody wants something. If you move from A to B, you want to get paid for the move. And I got to be honest with you. It starts at a high school level, an elementary school level. It starts by working with the teachers in the community. It starts by working with your politicians in the community. It's just, we've got to get back to where instead of sitting there watching a football game or a golf match on TV or playing video games, that we listen to what's going on and we participate. So, I guess I could have called this participation instead of community, but I've talked to you guys for years. If you want to grow as a person, instead of trying to grow your wealth and your income, instead of trying to grow your ability, whether it's scholastic or actually learning a trade, the best way to grow as a human is to find somebody that may be struggling and be able to move them forward. I had a chance to have a meal with a warrior at Fort Hood, and he just got a diagnosis that he has a medical situation that will keep him from continuing on in his service to the country. And so he's going to be discharged from the military. Heartbroken. Because this young man has a servant's heart. And it's crazy that all he wants to do, he wanted to be a lifer in the military and he wanted to serve his country and then serve as that military community. Some of you know that I've been volunteered for Halo for Freedom Warrior Foundation. I do post pictures every single year. We have a big event in March. And I found, even though that I did not serve in the military, I was at a time and age when the military was going down and not up. But working over a decade with a group of warriors and a group of people who have come back from their service, missing an arm, missing a leg, with some disabilities, and realizing the community of our military and how strong that is, because they can pick up the phone and all of them will come together. I just think there's an opportunity right now for us to be able to step back for a second and say, what can I do for my community? Or, you know what? Maybe how can I rekindle the word community? PK52, the Saturday morning meeting.